Children, I welcome you to this other lesson. We are continuing to look at ethnic groups in East Africa. I hope you're fine. I hope you're enjoying. My name is Teacher Ezekiel, Dominion Kids School, Primary 6. I continue to ask you to sanitize, to keep a social distance. Do not move away from home if you don't have anything you're going to do. Please, especially my dear children, there's nothing we're doing right now. Nothing requires you to move away from daddy's home. So stay home and stay safe. We are continuing. We talked about the other Nilotes, the three groups. We talked about the plain Nilotes, which we refer to as Nile Hamites. We talked about the highland Nilotes and the riverine Nilotes. We are continuing to another ethnic group in East Africa, the Kushites, or let me say Kushites. Kushites actually were the first people to come to East Africa. Before the Bantu came in, because they came in early, long time, around 1000 AD. So this was the first group, or the first tribe group to come to East Africa. They are believed to have originated also from the Ethiopian highlands. So you find that the most people we have in East Africa, they originated from the Ethiopian highlands, and the Bantus who came from the Cameroon highlands, and the Sudanic people who came from Bahel Ghazal or Bahel Gazel. Okay, the tribes under the Kushites. The Kushites have the Bahima in Uganda, the Batusi are in Uganda also, and some in Rwanda and Burundi. We have the Gala, we have the Somali, we have the Boran, the Rendile, the Iraqi, the Sandawe, and the Bongoni. All those are tribes under the Kushites. Kushites were known, or they are very well known in East Africa for having introduced iron smelting. They introduced iron smelting in East Africa, and their iron smelting started from their way back in Ethiopia at a place called Meru. That's where they used to live, and they brought in the idea of iron smelting. They introduced new crops like groundnuts, millet. They brought livestock into East Africa. It's one of the contributions we do not forget about them. Contributions of the Kushites in East Africa. We know that they introduced iron smelting. They introduced also new crops to us, and they brought livestock. These people up to now, when you go to the Gala, the Somali, the Bahima, the Borani, the Rendile, the Iraqi, all these people are still keeping cattle in their homesteads or in their homes. They are still pastoralists. So their main economic activity still was, and it is, cattle keeping. Reasons as to why they left their homeland to come to East Africa: due to drought and famine. This was a very common cause. That's why they left. Most of the ethnic groups left their homelands because of drought and famine. Due to the epidemic diseases, they were running away from internal conflicts. They were looking for water and pasture, since they were pastoralists. They were looking for fertile soils in order to carry out farming. So those are some of the reasons why the Kushites left the Ethiopian highlands to come to East Africa. However, I have listed for you some of the general effects of the migration of all ethnic groups, just like I have mentioned here, general causes of ethnic migrations, including Kushites, Bantus. You look at the Nilotes, the Sudanic, why they left their homelands. These are general causes. Much as if they ask you for Kushites, you can give these. If they ask you for Bantu, you can give. They are the same answers. They can work on all questions, as long as they're asking for causes of why ethnic groups left their crablands to come to East Africa. They are the same. The general effects, I say an effect is either positive or negative. So these people's coming had the good side and the bad side. Like they led to displacement of the Bushmen. Remember, the Bushmen were the inhabitants, were the indigenous people in East Africa, were the main occupants. They are the people who occupied East Africa before the coming of ethnic groups. And when they came, they chased them away. So they were displaced. They introduced new skills like the iron smelting we have just talked about. Iron smelting. It is an idea that was brought into East Africa by the ethnic groups that came in, especially the Cushites. Intermarriages, even intermarriages are still going on today. We have seen a Ugandan marrying a Kenyan, a Muganda marrying a Mnyankore marrying a Musoga, and so on. All those are referring to as intermarriages, because before there were only the Bushmen, so they had no one to intermarry with. Today, new cultures were introduced, okay? Like, before the coming, these suits were not there. We were putting on the back cloth. This is a European culture. In African culture, we're putting on back cloth, the garments and so on later came in. So such cultures came in after the coming of these ethnic groups. They led to increase of population in areas where they settled, which is very true. And population has gone on increasing. Up to date, in Uganda, we are around 42 million Ugandans. So population has gone on increasing because of the intermarriages, and when people intermarry, they produce. People produce after intermarriages or marriages in general. Okay, a map showing ethnic migrations in East Africa. This one I ask you, as I've always done, I will come with the map in the next lesson, but I always ask you to. Mom, at home these days we are using internet, using Google. Check for a map on this. If you have a textbook, P6, Sharing Our World, P6 MK, the parents should actually help you to access these books for your own benefit. Like in this question where we are at home, they should be helping you to look at some of the things. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I want to tell you, stay safe, stay home. Bye-bye.